I think we forget how lonely pain is. It reminds us that we all exist inside our own bodies, inside our own heads. When someone we love is in trouble, sick, in pain, and we want to do something for them, even if we want to move heaven and earth, sometimes we can't do that. And I think this story reminds us of that. When he returned to Capernaum after some days, it was reported that he was home. So many gathered around that there was no longer room for them, not even in front of the door. And he was speaking the word to them. Then some people came, bringing him a paralyzed man, carried by 4 of them. And when they could not bring him to Jesus because of the crowd, they removed the roof above him. After having dug through it, they let down the mat on which the paralytic lay. When Jesus saw their faith, he said to the paralytic, "Child, your sins are forgiven. I say to you, stand up. Take your mat and go to your home." And stood up and immediately took the mat and went out before all of them, so that they were all amazed and glorified God, saying, "We have never seen anything like this." For most of the time in the New Testament, Jesus is a healer, a charismatic healer going from town to town in the countryside, drawing huge crowds, and people coming to get some sort of remedy, some sort of healing done. And not only is he a healer, Jesus is a celebrity. People love to watch people who are famous. When someone comes to town, word spreads, "Did you hear? He's in town." Even if you walk down the street in somewhere like Los Angeles, Las Vegas, New York, and you see a crowd swarm around somebody, you're going to be interested in what's going on, even if you don't know who that celebrity is, and that's happening here too. Jesus is now teaching and healing in a home, and people are packing in. So far that people can't even get in the door and see what's going on. The thing I love most about this story, and the thing I think about this story, are the friends. This isn't a story about Jesus. This is a story about 4 friends who have another friend who is paralyzed. And they just want hope. They want to get him healed. And they look and they see the house is packed. They can't get in. They can't bring their friend to this healer that they've heard so much about. They have a choice. They can turn around right here and go back, take him back to wherever he was, and leave him back there. They can't get to him. The healer is too busy. You could be the most skeptical person in the world. There are times when I have been pushed, when all normal science and medicine has been thrown out the window, when you start turning to things like faith healing and homeopathic medicines and alternative cures. Because one of the things you need, especially through sickness and tragedy, is hope. You'll do anything just to hear the idea that things will be okay, or that your loved one is still with you. These friends, maybe they don't believe Jesus can actually heal people, but at this point it doesn't matter. This is their friend's only shot that he has. And so what they're going to do is move heaven and earth. More importantly, they're going to bring him up to the roof, cut a hole, and bring him down, because there's going to be some chance for him to get his healing. And they do the bravest thing they possibly can. They don't turn around. They move forward. Because maybe this person's been to healers again and again, and they've dragged him across the countryside just to get to Jesus. But this is their chance. It doesn't matter what had happened before, but this is their chance to go and make something happen. I think in some ways, it's harder to watch someone you love go through something hard than to go through it yourself. When you go through it yourself, you can find all sorts of things as motivation. You can wake up every day and decide, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this choice. I'm going to take this next step. But if it's someone you love, a child, a friend, and you're forced to watch them, and you have nothing you can do, there's a certain kind of misery that comes with that. And these friends see that every day, and they want to change their friend's life. They want to give him a second chance. They have been stuck watching the hope drain from him again and again. And the crazy thing about this is that it works. There's a part we skipped over where Jesus talks to the teachers and does a back and forth about healing and forgiveness. But for our heroes, the 4 friends, they get what they came for. And what does Jesus say? He says, "Your friend's faith made you well." Not, "You did a great job," but it was your friends who carried you up, dug through, and brought you down. And it's a really good lesson that sometimes, just sometimes, the faith of you can help your friends. And that when you try and the world seems to not want to give an inch, there are times when you can dig through the ceiling and help those you love.